Good afternoon, everyone. We're Team BlockDJ. BlockDJ is a competitive playlist sharing app. Users are encouraged to explore the city and post playlists around different areas where they can, where they've composed on Spotify. They're able to vote on and discover new music through this app. Took a little inspiration from success of AR games like Pokemon Go, where users are encouraged to walk about to get the most out of their software. The app's designed for music lovers and city explorers. Now I'll pass you on to Matt to explain the inspiration for the app and walk you through the demonstration.
Cheers, thank you, Kingsley. I was inspired by a YouTube series that I saw quite a few years ago where a guy with a camera and a microphone walked up to random people on the street who had headphones in and asked them what they were listening to. And it was very intrusive, but I just found it like so like interesting. I was fascinated by it. So I wanted to create an app around a similar idea where you could see what people were listening to in areas, and I thought other people might be interested in that too. And the idea of voting on it was just because, well, we all like to have our music taste validated, so I thought that was a cool thing. So I'm going to show you BlockDJ in action on the video, so hit me with the video, please. So first you'll be instructed to log in. So log in as me, Matkin93, and my super secure password, Northcoders123. You'll be then asked to log in with Spotify, where you'll be redirected to a proxy website, which isn't ideal, but we'll go into that later. So you'll be asked to put in your BlockDJ username, and you'll get my playlist. So you'll see a list of my playlists, so you'll be able to confirm that they are actually your playlists. So back to the app, this is the home screen where you'll be able to see the areas represented by polygons, colored polygons. Clicking on the vinyls will then show you a brief description of that area. So there we have Arndale. Down here we have Piccadilly train station. And then up here is Northern Quarter, which is a hipster heaven, obviously. And then last we have Northcoders, which is full of nerds. So let's see the Northcoders block. Here we can see the playlist ranked by who has the most points. So let's have a look at a few of them. Fat Tunes? Nah, I don't like that one. Let's have a look at another one. Northcoders Massive? Nah. So what about Move Mitch, Get Out of the Way? Shout out to Mitch. So yeah, here we go. I've liked that playlist because it's a good one. So let's submit our own playlist in Northcoders. So here's a list of my playlists. Let's use Northloaders. So we can see that has been added to the bottom. Let's take a look at Northloaders. That is just top loaders dancing in the moonlight 10 times over. So let's go back. So now let's take a sprint over to a different area. Let's go to the Northern Quarter. So there we are running over. So now it is updated and we're in Northern Quarter. We can take a look at what's going on in there. Oh no, nobody's posted there yet. So let's get a head start and post something. Living in a hipster's paradise. Let's post that one. So now you can see that I am the top DJ of that area. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, so if I click on that, it will then open that in Spotify, and we can then play the music. So yeah, thank you. That is the demonstration, and I'll pass you over to Andy to show you the admin portal.
Thanks, Matt. So in addition to the main application, we were keen that the app should be extendable so that users in other cities would be able to add their lists, so whether it be Liverpool or Leeds or various areas within them. So we built a small admin portal in addition that would deal with allowing back-end users to log in and add new cities. So the app was built with React, because obviously we're familiar with that, and a small API using Node, Express, and Mongo. And we've got a brief demonstration, I believe, on the video, so we can hopefully see log in with Auth0 and JSON Web Tokens, and a brief example of a new city being added, or a new area within Manchester. So hopefully the central library will be popping up shortly. Yep, there it is. So we used React-leaflet and a few other libraries to enable us to draw the areas within the map, and then they get submitted to the back end, which can then be accessed by the application itself later. So yeah, it's the library. We had colors so that the polygons that appear will be different colors depending on the user that's logged in, so they can add a bit of styling. Yep, so that's been added. Okay, and it should appear on the map when we log back in. Yep, so there it is. The library's appeared on the map. It's made the request to the database. Okay, so that's the admin side. I'll pass over to Matt again for the app front end.
Cheers. So the tech stack for the front end, I used React Native on iOS because couldn't get it to work on Android, so I just stuck with iOS. We used it on Xcode instead of Expo because Expo is very limited, and we wanted to include the Spotify SDK, but it just didn't end up working, so we'll come to that later. We use React Native Maps, which is made by Airbnb, and we use Spotify's authentication and API. We use React Native because I enjoyed using React, and I thought my skills would transfer over, but it wasn't as simple as that. We use React Native Maps because it's easy to use, and it had the Polygon implementation that we needed. And we use Spotify because the API is really easy to use, and because it's the biggest music streaming service, and because it's the best one as well. Sorry, Apple Music users, but it is. And on to Kingsley for the back end.
Right, so we were originally planning to build 3 APIs. For that reason, we opted to use Node.js and Express to get quick routing out of the box, very simple and easy to set up, and we're very used to the technology. We weren't initially sure how we were going to make the data relate to each other, so we opted for a NoSQL database, mongoDB, very easy to use, have it hosted up on MLabs. Since it is a location-based application, we were attempting to integrate GeoJSON into the application. And of course, we tested all our routes and endpoints with Jess, test runner, very similar to Mocha and Chai. Can I pass you on to Andy who will explain all the challenges that we went through?
Okay, thanks, Casey. Okay, I guess the main obvious challenge that we encountered was losing a man after a week to injury. So that caused some obviously reshuffling in terms of the work that we were going to be doing. In terms of technical challenges, the first sort of surprising one that we encountered was with geofencing, so locating a user and checking whether they were in a particular area or not. We sort of expected that to be fairly straightforward, but a lot of the solutions that we encountered were either from packages that were a few years old, or I think otherwise sort of slightly buggy. We did consider using the back end so that we could use the geo-within functionality on Mongo, but eventually we stumbled across a really good library called point-in-polygon, which completely solved the issue for us, and that was what we went with. The next sort of major set of issues were to do with native itself. We were obviously intended to use the Expo platform environment for development, but we quickly realized that there were problems with Spotify that meant that we couldn't quite do that. So we had to eject from Expo rather, and found that I guess in the wild, native was fairly buggy, and we had problems getting it running on various machines. So that was a major stumbling block for us. The other one was Spotify integration, and getting that working with the versions of native that were being used. We found the docs for the iOS version were in Swift rather than in native, so that was an issue. And again, Matt found a way around that, which was to build a small proxy website that would redirect and get us through to Spotify that route. So that's the main challenges.
Okay. What would we do differently? So initially our communication wasn't as effective as it ended up being later on. We did do daily stand-ups, but I feel we would have benefited more from regular afternoon meetings just to make sure we're all on the same path. Just, it did cost us a bit in time, and we had to go back and do a lot of refactoring. But generally.
Yeah. I guess the second one was that we initially intended to get quite a lot of work done on the app and perhaps peeled off into our own individual routes to do that, whereas perhaps if we'd focused together a little bit more in pairs, we might have got the core functionality working a bit sooner. So that's perhaps something we do slightly different next time.
Cool. So I want to talk about less about what we did wrong and be more positive and talk about what we'd like to implement if we had the time. So, of course, better Spotify integration, not having to leave the app to authenticate, having it in the app would be great. One thing that we really wanted was local bars would be able to display on the map. Bars and clubs would be able to display on the map and show a brief playlist of the type of music that they play. So before you go there, you know the type of music that they'd be playing. And we'd like a playlist category, so you could be the top DJ in a certain category as well as the overall top DJ. And just the ability to add comments and maybe accolades to the playlist, like a thumbs up or something. So yeah, all that would be cool. Kingsley?
Yep. So on behalf of BlockDJ, I'd just like to give thanks to Northcoders for giving us the opportunity, and thank you all for attending.